I'm Kaylee, and today I'm going to be ranking my favorite characters from the Chronicles of Narnia. I have a lot of favorite characters from one of my favorite book series, but today I'm just going to be talking about my top favorites. Before I dive in, I'm going to reach back here to the Booktuber Shoutout book, and we're going to shout out somebody randomly. Today's shout out goes to Voyage of a Time Wanderer. I will leave a link in the description to their channel, so be sure to go over and subscribe to them. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up if you love Narnia like I do. And of course, be sure to follow me on Goodreads and Instagram and all the places. So today I actually have a list of 23 of my favorite characters from the Chronicles of Narnia. It was just really hard to narrow it down, okay? There are actually 8 characters that I did not include on this list. I did not include King Frank and Queen Helen. I did not include Glimfeather the Owl, or Coriacan the Star, or Ramandu the Star, or King Loon of Archenland, or Dr. Cornelius, or Fledge the Pegasus. So see, I did pare down this list quite a bit, because I took 8 characters off of the list entirely, but I still had to talk about them. Right at the bottom of the list, not that he's my least favorite character or anything, he's just my least favorite of my favorites. He's still a favorite character, but other people are more favorite. Anyway, number 3 is Prince Corin Thunderfist. He does have a good heart, but he's at the bottom of this list because he can be pretty arrogant and a little bit selfish sometimes. He just does not always make very good decisions. But he's a lot of fun to have along with you on an adventure in Narnia. Number 22 is Bree the horse. He's down at the bottom of the list kind of for the same reason as Corin. He has a good heart, but he can be arrogant and prideful, and he can be really obstinate and just kind of condescending. I do love Bree, but he's kind of at the bottom of the list. I'm sorry. Number 21 is Prince Rillian. He is protective of others and he's very loyal. And I really love that he is kind of fiercely emotional about things, very passionate. But he can definitely be foolish and headstrong. He does not tend to listen to counselors around him. He is just gonna do what he's gonna do, and he's not really listening. Number 20 is Aravis. In the beginning of her story, she can definitely be selfish. She's another person who does not tend to listen to those around her. But through her story, she has some great character growth, and she learns to appreciate other people more and not be quite so prideful. She learns to value others. I do love Aravis's wonderful character arc. Number 19 is King Tyrion. He just has such a strong faith in the face of despair. He is loyal to Aslan to the very edge of death and beyond into death. King Tyrion, more than anybody else, just has terrible tragedies, the whole unraveling of the world he has known, and yet somehow at the core of himself there is this strong faith in Aslan. Number 18 is Jewel the Unicorn. I love him because as a unicorn he is sensitive and delicate, but he's also very strong and fierce. You would not want to meet him in battle. One of my favorite things about Jewel the Unicorn is when he's talking to Puzzle the donkey, he talks about simple everyday things that a donkey can understand, and he doesn't think that he's lowering himself or anything. He's just adapting his conversation to be a comfort to someone else. I love that humility in Jewel the Unicorn. Numbers 16 and 17 are Mr. and Mrs. Beaver. I love Mrs. Beaver because she is so caring and protective. She is just like the mom of whatever group she is in. She's gonna take care of everybody. And I love Mr. Beaver because he has a lot of wisdom. He's very wise and experienced, and he has a plan. Number 15 is Diggory Kirk. He can certainly be foolish sometimes, and he does make some bad decisions, but then he learns that he just has to deal with the consequences of those decisions. I think I really love Diggory because he learns from his mistakes. Yes, he makes mistakes, but he learns from it. Number 14 is Puddleglum. Puddleglum is just hilarious. He is so funny. Every time that I read The Silver Chair, I am just in stitches, laughing in every scene with Puddleglum in it. But he is also just so steady and strong and like stubbornly good. I love his line where he says, I am going to follow Aslan, even if there isn't any Aslan to follow, and I'm going to be a Narnian and live as like a Narnian as I can, even if there isn't any Narnia. He is just so stubborn that he is gonna do the right thing, even if there is no right thing. He's just hilariously wonderful. Oh, I love Puddleglum. Number 13 is Shasta, sometimes known as Core. One of the things I love about Shasta is he's very responsive to whatever's going on around him. He really has like this outward focus where he's very attuned to the other characters in their group. And as he goes through his adventures and has different obstacles he has to overcome, different quests or responsibilities that he has, he rises to the occasion for every challenge. He's just growing and changing little by little and getting stronger and more confident, and I just love his story arc. Number 12 is Susan Pevensey. I love Susan because she is kind of like Mrs. Beaver, the caring and protective person of the group. She is the mother of the group. She's the one who pours the tea and makes the sandwiches and makes sure that everyone's comfortable and warm. I think I love Susan so much because she is really smart, but she uses that intelligence to serve others. Number 11 is Hwin, the horse. She is humble and sweet and lovely. She's so patient, and she's definitely the peacemaker of the group. When tensions are running high, she is going to be the one who diffuses those arguments and tells everybody, guys, let's all just get along. Number 10 is Polly Plummer. Despite her young age in Magician's Nephew, she is a true lady in every way. Although she is adventurous, she's also just very sweet and polite. I don't know, there's something, she can be really tough, but there's also something just very delicate and just so ladylike about her. I don't know what it is. Number 9 is Jill Pole, and I love her for a lot of the same reasons why I love Polly. She is sensitive, but she's also really tough. Jill Pole just goes through some really difficult circumstances and she gets discouraged and she kind of they all lose their way. But Jill somehow, she kind of trusts that women's intuition of hers, and she trusts that sensitivity that she has, and that eventually leads them back onto the right path. Number 8 is Eustace Clarence Scrubb, and he almost deserved it. Eustace really does have the very best character arc in the entire series. He is just such a stinker in the beginning, and then by the end, he's just wonderful. And I think that I love Eustace too because he is one of the characters, with his encounter with Aslan is one of the most raw and real encounters that any character has with Aslan. There are just so many wonderful spiritual lessons in Eustace's story. Number 7 is Trumpkin the Dwarf. I adore Trumpkin. Of course, he's a dwarf, so he's really tough, and he tries to act like he's so tough, but in the middle, he's just a big squishy heart. He's caring, he is thoroughly good. While some of the other dwarves have been making some not so good decisions, Trumpkin just seems to follow like this inner light of truth that he has. I love that he's really skeptical, but he's also very quick to admit when he has been wrong. Number 6 is Edmund Pevensey. I love Edmund's story arc. Of course, he has such a wonderful redemption story, but I love that he has the humility to accept forgiveness after he's betrayed everyone. And I love that as we see him later in the stories, he has such wisdom and patience, and he has a lot of compassion for people because of his own experiences and his own redemption. It has given him this insight into other people's struggles, and it just makes him so compassionate. Number 5 is Reepicheep. He is the very embodiment of courage and chivalry. But of course, with him, chivalry can sometimes be taken a little too far. And so it takes Aslan to give him that humility so he doesn't get proud or that his courage does not become reckless. I really love that Reepicheep has this visionary imagination. Like, he has a vision and that is his quest, and he is so single-minded to achieve that. But as we see in his interactions with Eustace, he has a lot of compassion and patience as well. Reepicheep is just such a many-faceted character. There's just so much there to discover in his character. Every time that I reread Chronicles of Narnia, I just see some other aspect of Reepicheep that I was like, oh, I never thought of that before. He really is acting with truth or with compassion or something in that scene. For such a little mouse, he does have a really big, complex character. Number 4 is Caspian the 10th. I just love that we get to see his character development from a child to a man, from this prince to a great king. I love that his journey is not quite linear. It's not just like he grows and learns and that's his journey and here he is. It's kind of up and down, and he makes mistakes, and then he learns his lesson. He makes another mistake and then has to learn another lesson. And so there's all these high mountaintop moments, and then he's down in the valley, you know, repenting of his mistakes. The one thing I really love about Caspian is he's always willing to learn. He never just takes it for granted that I'm the leader and you guys need to listen to me and this is what we're doing. He never does that. He's always willing to listen to others and learn and strive to become a better leader. Okay, we are up to the top 3 favorite characters. Number 3 is Peter Pevensey. I just really admire his courage, his leadership, not just once he is leader of all of Narnia, but his leadership within his little family. I feel like even as a boy, when they're still in England, he's a good steward of the people that have been placed under him. He is going to protect his younger siblings. He feels a big responsibility that he needs to care for his family and make sure that their strengths are being encouraged and that their weaknesses are being maybe reprimanded. I really love that he takes his responsibilities so seriously. He is willing to sacrifice himself. He is willing to be the first one into battle. It's like he really just doesn't care what happens to him as long as everyone else is okay. I just love that kind of sacrificial love that Peter has for his siblings and for all of Narnia. And my second favorite character is Lucy Pevensey. Of course, Lucy is so wonderful. I just love her perfect faith, that childlike, innocent trust that she has in Aslan. I feel like Lucy has this insight into the bigger picture of whatever is going on. Like, she has this eternal perspective that keeps her sights on what does Aslan want from us? How are we going to act and live and be in the light of his love? And my number 1 favorite character, you can probably guess by now, is Aslan himself. I love that he is described as not safe, but good. I feel like the Chronicles of Narnia just do such a good job of packing in so many spiritual messages around the character of Aslan. He really is the central figure in every book. Even if he's only, on screen for a couple of minutes and only has like a few bits of dialogue in one chapter or something, even so, everything in every story is going towards Aslan. Every action that the characters take, every plot twist and everything, it all really just leads back to that spiritual center of Narnia. So it's like all this spiritual imagery just all comes around and centers on Aslan, and I love it. Okay, those are my 23 favorite characters from the Chronicles of Narnia. Please leave me a comment and let me know who is your favorite character, or maybe like your top 3. It's hard to decide on a favorite, but some of your favorites from the Chronicles of Narnia. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.